So welcome again everybody to the account schedule webinar training. Today we're going to walk through what account schedules are, how to set them up, what the uses are, and how to do to set up the column layouts. Okay, so basically account schedules are a way for the average user to be a report writer. It's basically the report writer inside of Navision besides using, for example, like Jet Reports. What typically I see a lot of users use the account schedules for is mainly for financial statements. The system, whatever information posts to the GL is the information that you can pull inside of the account schedules. So today what we're going to be going through is how they can be used, tips and tricks on starting from scratch, modifying and setting them up, and then also reviewing the column layouts, how to set up and modify the column layouts, and how they work with the account schedules. So to find the account schedules, you need to go under, excuse me, bear with me here, I have a nasty cold. Under the account schedules, you're going to go to financial management, as you can see, at the cookie crumb at the top, or the trail, and then I go to General Ledger, and under Reports and Analysis, and then Analysis and Reporting is where you're going to have the account schedule layout and setup. If you were going to do the printing of the account schedules, I always come under Reports, Financial Statement, and then Account Schedule Landscape, and we'll get to why we use the landscape more often. But again, so I click on account schedules, and you can see that we have this is just a test database that we use for training. I have a few account schedules that we have set up here. Again, I can come in and we're going to go ahead and look at these first. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and look at a blank one. So I'm going to come in, I can put any name that I want to put in here. So I am going to put cash overview. Let's see, let's just do overview, that's fine. So I'm going to do cash overview. Maybe somebody looks at the cash every day and so forth. So then when I do, I just put my name in, and now I want to actually come in and actually edit the account schedule. I choose my cash overview, and it's going to come in and it's blank. And here are all the fields, or not fields, but columns that you have the options to choose and look at. So the very first column here is row number. Now again, the account schedules are related, the layout is related to kind of how Excel works. So if you know how Excel works, you know that Excels have columns and rows. So basically it's pretty much the same type of a layout. So the very first column we have is called the row number. And the trick to this is that you can have a numeric or an alphanumeric any time of row that number that you want to give it. But a tip on this is that you want to make sure that your row numbers in between your rows, that you have a decent amount of space. So if you do row number 1 and then do the second one, row number 2, the system won't allow you to insert a line in there. So let's say you want to go ahead and insert a line in there now, you would have to renumber all your row numbers. So I always tell clients to maybe start with row number 10, do row number 20, row number 30, and so on. That way then if you ever have an incident where you need to come in and insert a row, you have rows, you have the ability between 10 and 20 to insert as many lines as you need. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a row number 10, a description. Now, a lot of clients think that, or feel, when they type in the description or put in the account that they are pulling from the GL, that the description automatically pops with the description of the GL account, and it doesn't. In here, the system gives you the ability to put in any type of description that you want to put in. So you can go ahead in the description field and put in, so this one I'm going to be put in bank 1 as the description for my first row. The next column is called a totaling type. This is the type of what you would like for it to pull in. So I can put in a posting account, and what a posting account is any account that's directly posted into the chart of accounts. So any account that has a direct posting into the chart of accounts, into the general ledger. So if we'll go back here, I want to go to the general ledger so that you understand. Chart of account. So anything that has posting in your general ledger is the type of account that you want to pull through. Totaling account would be anything that you're going to do with a total account. As you can see here, this is an end total, so you're going to pull in this one, and it knows that it's totaling multiple accounts inside your general ledger. So that's the difference between the two. So the next, I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to do the edit the account schedule, and here it is. So you have posting accounts, so that's anything that posts directly into the chart of accounts. Total accounts is an end total, not a begin total. It's always going to be your end total. Formula is inside of Navision where you can total or do a formula for multiple counts inside your GL or multiple rows. So if you want to add row 10 and 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 together, you can do that. Or you can drill into your general ledger and add multiple accounts. And we're going to do those as examples. The next one is underline to make your report look pretty and all nice and so forth. You can have this field underline, double underline. Now set base for percent, which we will get to down the road here, is if you want to take, a lot of clients will use the sales as a base percent. So it's what you do is you take, put in set base for percent, put in the account that you want everything to be percent off of. So if you put in set base for a percent, put in the sales account, every account listed on this account schedule will do a percentage off of the sales amount for that time frame. So if I put in March 1st through March 31st or March 30th, it would say, okay, take the cash account based off the sales account, and what percentage would that be? Okay, and we'll get to that in a little bit too on how to do that. The next is your totaling account. So this is where you can go ahead, pull in the accounts directly from the GL, from the general ledger. Again, you can use your up and down, which is a pipe, to do more than one account, or you can do the ... if you're going to do a range of accounts. Okay, and again, I can do 10 ... 30 if I want to do row 10 to 30, which we don't have the row 30 set up here yet. Okay. Row type, you decide if you want to do a net change, balance at date, or beginning balance. I think everybody kind of understands what those means. Amount type, this is where you can choose if you want to show a net amount, debit amount, or credit amount. Typically I see net amount more, but it's totally your choice in what you want to put in there at any time. In the one over here you have the show, you want no, if column not zero, when positive, or when negative balance. And this will come into play as if you have 15 or 16 accounts from the GL that you're going to pull in separately, so you're using the pipe. You might have to say show no to this one, put it more, because 15 accounts isn't going to fit in this line because there is a numeric, what do I want to say, it's a, the field can only be allowed to have so many characters. So then you would have to go down here, filter it, but say show no to this one because you don't want it to pull up on your report, and put them down here and then just add row 10 into that number. And we'll get to that too and show you. You could do a new page. You can bold it, italicize it, and now here again on the right I can go ahead and put in specific filtering if I want it by a certain department, or anything that I want to do by dimension. But again, just remember, if you put that inside of your account schedule, it's always just going to be for that one. So you'd have to come in and change this if you want to change departments. Okay, that's where you can do your column layout. Put this as you know, all of your financial statements. Let's say you're going to put your balance sheet and list it completely out in here. If you don't, Barbara, if you don't have the bold, italic, etc. in the headings, you just want to choose more columns. So if you right-click up here, okay, let me get off of there. And you choose more columns, you would just have to get to your available columns and then just add them over into here, and then you would see them. Okay? And then you'll have all of the, I just put out every column that we have that's available out there. And you can see that I only have 2 dimensions sitting here, and you do have the options to have 4 of them sitting here. Now the last one is underline and then show opposite sign. So if you don't want to see all the negatives on your report because it's a credit balance, you can go ahead and put it as an opposite sign so that it shows as positive balances in the report. Okay, so here I'm going to just put this as a total account. So I'm just going to go out to the chart of accounts, and I'm just going to put in, I'm going to choose, I have all these different cash accounts here. So I'm going to choose cash, and I want it to be a net change because it could be hopefully my cash is never going to be a credit balance. And then I want net amount, and I'm just going to leave everything else the same. And then I'm going to come down and put a row 20. Again, I can use alpha or numeric. And here's where I'm talking about if I want to do, I can do new line, and I can put 11 in here. But if I had 9 here and tried to do a 10, let's see here, 11. Now if I went to go here, a new line, it'll allow me to do it, but it'll give me errors down the road. So you don't want to do that, okay? So I'm going to just delete those out. So then I'm going to do bank 2, and I'm going to do total accounts again. Again, I'm going to go ahead and just pick construction, it's this one. I'm going to leave everything the same. I'm going to do 30, bank 3. You guys can see a pattern here. I'm just going in and grabbing. Let's do capital. And I'll do one more. Do total accounts. Again, I'm just hitting a T for the total accounts. And I'm just coming in here. And I'm going to do payroll. And then I'm going to stop because there's a lot of cash accounts that we have here. And I know that I have a cash account end total, so I could just do the end total to get all the total of the cash, but I want to do it inside of here. So I'm going to do total cash for 4 banks. So now I'm going to do formula, and I'm going to go 10.40. So I did this row 10 to 20, 30, and 40. Or I can do, which because this is quick and easy, I can do that. Or I can do this row, this GL account, this GL account, this GL account, this GL account. So I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I would do pipe, and then keep going. Or if it's the straight in the row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, dot to 103. So there's multiple ways that I can do this. So basically, I'm going to just do dot to 40 because I'm just adding the 10 to the 40. And again, you don't want to include the row number that you're on. You basically just want to include the row numbers that you're doing. So now that we have it set up, we're going to go in. I'm going to do a few other things so you can see how that you do that. So I have the totaling accounts. Again, you can do adding all the accounts together. You can do a range of accounts. I could also do posting account here. That's what I was talking about before, and I'm going to take that out. And now if I come in here, my general ledger is set up to have an end total, begin total. So you can see that I have a begin total on this cash. Did I switch that to posting accounts? Yep, sorry, I couldn't remember if I did. I'm going to drill in here. And if I choose the end total and hit OK, this, and you can see, I'm going to come back out here, sorry, so you can see this a little bit better. Oops, went too far. Cash end total, and here's the row number. So then you would just have the cash and hit OK. The net amount in the amount type in the row or the net change, it's just going to duplicate what you have at the top as the formula. It doesn't change. It just automatically populates in from what the line above. It has nothing to do with what amount's going to come in there and what it's going to have. You can't delete these out. The system is going to want you to put something in there, and it'll ask you to do that. So I just go ahead, just leave it in there as with the ones that are above. You can change it. You can do, you know, if I want to do any of these, I can do that as well. But it does not have anything to do. It will not change the, oh, I have to go back out of here. It will not change the results that I'm getting in the total. Okay? It does not do that. So the results that I'm getting in total, anything over this way, the row type, the amount type, show, and so forth, will not change the results except for if I'm in a filter with my dimensions. But anything this over here for the formula for will, obviously change the results. So it just populates from the line above. You don't have to have any. You have to have something in there, but it doesn't play any part in the total. Okay. So once you're done setting up your account schedules, you can see that it's just a type of layout, but you can go ahead and if you need to copy this and paste it into another account schedule that you set up, you can put it in any one that you want. And so first I'm just going to go back into this one. You can, if you right click, you can copy lines and so forth, or copy rows and paste it into another account schedule. And if you want to add more to it and keep going. And again, remember your description can be anything that you want. And you can, let's do one other thing that I want to do that we talked about earlier is I'm going to do a new line, and I'm going to do row A. And base per sales. So I'm going to do a base, if I could, it's percent, set base percent. And I'm going to go in here and look for a sales account. Come on. Okay, it's not allowing me to drill in. Come on. Okay, let's take that out. I'm going to find my sales account that I want to set the base percent against. A lot of accounts here, guys. Hold on. Liabilities. I'm just going to choose one. How about this one? Okay, so I'm going to have that account number be the set base percent. So basically that's the thing that it's going to show a percent off of. So in my account schedules, I have to make sure that the column layout gives me the ability to show that. So here is the account schedule is where you bring in the information that you want to pull into the report. The column layouts, which is total separate from the account schedule area, but the column layouts is what you want to, how you want your report to look. So here's the information I want to bring in, and now we're going to go ahead and look at how we want the report to look. So if I go ahead and go to column layouts, and you can see it's right here. You can go to application setup, but under financial management. Okay. So if we look here, I have 4 column layouts that I'm setting up. I'm just going to use the one that says test. So it's same thing in the account schedule. It said row number, but in here it's a column number. Again, it's the same as the account schedule. You can use numeric and alpha numbers, or letters and numbers. Again, I always say to make sure that you put your numbers big enough to allow items to go through. Column header is just like a description. What would you like the column header to be? We want to say current month budget is what I put in here. The column type, here we have a formula, a net change, balance at date, beginning balance, year to date, rest of fiscal year, and entire fiscal year. Again, any of this information, formula is a formula, net change, balance at date, beginning balance, year to date is going to go based off of not your fiscal year, but the calendar year. Rest of fiscal year is going to be based off of the fiscal year that you have set up in your counting periods. Okay, so that's the difference between those two. Year to date is going to take in calendar year, so it would take in January to December of 2014. Fiscal year will be based off, let's say, your July to June. So That's the difference between the two. So entire fiscal year is going to base it off the entire fiscal year that you have sitting out there. Okay, the ledger entry type is our next one. And here you're going to have GL entries or GL budget entries. So you're telling it what you want it to look at. I want it to look at the GL entries inside of the general ledger's chart of accounts, or I want it to look at the GL budget entries. So you have the option of which one you would like to look at. Amount type, it's just net amount, debit or credit. Here's where you would put in your formula. Show opposite sign. Comparison date formula. And what that does, comparison date formula is specific for this row that I'm on here. For this top row, I want it to only compare or only put in the dates from this date to this date. So I can say I want it to be net change, GL entries, net amount, and not do any of these over here, but just put net change in there. But I only want it to be January through May all the time. So we have always a rounding factor, a line number, comparison period formula. Again, that is the same thing if I want to do 1 month, 1 quarter, and so forth. Now these are your dimensions that I have here, and I can put those in. And this is where, instead of inside of the account schedule, I would want to come in here and filter by a dimension. So I can filter it specifically, and I can say that this is test, and maybe it's cash for the construction department or something. I can pull that in and have it specifically be, so when I run that report, I can put in different column layouts and it would pull that information in according to that column layout. Okay. I wanted to go back. One of the key things in these comparison date formulas, and you don't have to do a column layout for each account schedule. You can use one column layout for many account schedules. Okay, but again, vice versa, you can have many column layouts for one account schedule. So if you want to do, I want to look at cash, but I only want to look at Department 10, I can do a column layout quickly for that. And then I want to look at cash, but to Department 20. I can copy this column layout instead of having to go in and fix it and monitor it. It's just an example. So that I can just come in, say I want this report, this column layout, give me that information, this report, column layout B, give me that information. It just makes it a lot easier. So you still have to, when you run your account schedules when you want to print them, you have to put a column layout in there. The system won't let you do it without a column layout. So you have to have one set up, but you can have one for many account schedules, but you do have to set up one for each. You do have to have one listed when you want to print your report. Okay. Now, one of the things is in your formula area and in your comparison date formula and so forth, I always go to, I wonder if I still have it up. Let me double check here. Nope. About Microsoft Dynamics NAV Help. And I always put in comparison date formula. It's just something that I use, and I come in. So here, comparison period formula, and then we also have comparison date formula. But here it gives me the idea of what the system uses. So it uses a P for period, LP for last period, current period, and then it tells me examples of the formulas that you want to put in. So I always come in and Google these, and these are here because there's a lot more than that you can typically think of. So if I come under the date formula one, it doesn't have too much in here. Let me see if I can get to, does it have another? I like to have more, but there's more than just those. Let me see here. Period, fiscal year, that's great. No. Because there's month. Let's go here. I always come in and get these because they're nice and handy. Let's see. Okay, so let's see here. General menu overview, creating new account schedules, formula, yep. That's what I want is the formula. So in here is a nice little table, if I could find it, that tells you, I cannot find it right now, I thought I had it before, that gives you a good idea of what it looks at. So like 1 month is 1M minus 1 year, and so forth. Let's see if I can find it under that. Nope. I won't waste too much more time, but this is, I'd like to come in here and show clients this. Okay. One more time. Account schedule formulas, where is that? Yeah, I've already went through all of these. Huh. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like, yeah, it doesn't, it's not having the, yeah. Okay. So in there, there's different date formulas that you can use. So inside of Navision, when you're in here, oh, I don't want this. I'm not in that. It took me right to the account schedule, sorry. You could do formula of, a date formula of 1 month. Let's see here, minus 1 month, 1 year, 1 quarter, and it all goes based off your counting periods. So what you have set up in there. So 1 month, if you put that in, put your date, it's going to come up with the 1 month that you have here. If you want to show previous year, it's minus 1 year. So if I want to compare data from last year, so last year's fiscal year, I would come in here. Oh, I just got disconnected. Give me a second. I just got disconnected from my server. Sorry, give me a second here. I'm connected. Oops, here it comes. Okay, sorry for the delay there. Must have wanted just to take a break. So I'm going to go back to column layouts where we were. And I wanted to touch base on if I wanted to do last year's information. So I wanted to do a comparison last year, if I can type. And I went GL entries, net amount, and I'm going to do minus 1 year. So what that means, oh, sorry, I need to put that in the comparison date formula. So that means it's going to go from the date that I put in there back 1 year. So if I put in March of 2014, it's going to comparison in the column to March of 2013. So it's going to go back exactly a year. If you want the whole year, excuse me, I'm going to cough. Hold on 1 second. Okay. If you want to do the whole year, when you put your date filter in on when you're running the report, it would go back that whole year. So if I ran the report for January 2014 to December 2014, it would show the information in the comparison from January 2013 to December 2013. Okay, and you could do your fiscal year comparison and so forth. So I could as well do that. So I could come in here, sorry, this one, and do rest of fiscal year, and still it'll go back that entire year and so forth. Okay, so column layouts and account schedules. So we're going to go back, and I'm going to go to that account schedule, and I'm actually going to print it. And we'll do some overviews of it. So the reason that I always tell clients to use the account schedule landscape is because landscape allows you to have more rows and columns on there. Typically the account schedule in the portrait, depending on how many rows and stuff that you put on there, it might be a little bit, it might not show all of them. So I'm going to go to the account scheduled name and the one that we set up, and I'm going to just do cash over, and then I'm going to go to the column layout that we set up, and which was test, I think it was. And then I'm putting in the date of January 1st, 2013 to January 31st, 2013. Again, I can do filters here if I would like to, as department filters and so forth. So you can see I can do a budget filter if I want. So I'm going to go out and find the budget filter that I have out there, but I'm not doing any budget. I could do a business unit filter if you have that filled in, which I don't, or a fund filter, branch filter. And then here is your department filter, and these here would be your Dimension 3 and Dimension 4, which we don't have set up. So you can come in here and do the filters at will. So you can either do the filter on, so there's so many options here. You can do the filter, dimension filter on the account schedule specifically, on the column layout, or when you're printing it. You could come in here and do the opposite. So you could set up the column layout with no dimension filters, the account schedule with no dimension filters, and come in here and print it by dimension. So you can do it all of those different ways, okay? If you have your account schedule with no dimension, your column layout with a dimension, you don't need to put the dimension filter on here because it automatically will, filter it down. So I'm going to hit preview here. Okay. And I don't have anything that is being pulled up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of open it up a little bit more. Sometimes I have to go way back depending on the information that we have in our system. So I am just going to go 01/01/13 today. Let's see if we have anything. Still no information. So let's go way back. Let's do 101/12. Let's get some information in here. Wow, okay. I am going to go look at the chart of accounts and see. Okay, I do, oops, I'm going to go home. Come on. Let's see here. So I have information there, not in that one, and I do in the payroll one. So let's see what date I have in here. What information, what date, posting dates. Ooh, 2011, I'm going to do Control End. But there is something in 2014. So I'm just going to go back even further. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Oh, I don't want to go here. I want to go to Reports. Go back to 2011 and just pull that information in. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, why is nothing coming in? Let's go back and look. Account schedules. I'm going to look here. On GL entries, I pulled it in. You know what? My account schedule I'm comfortable with, but we're just going to go ahead and take a peek after out of it. Cash over. Edit. I see here base per sales. I'm going to take this off just in case that's throwing it off. I don't have anything in there. And let's hit OK. And let's go ahead and print it again. And preview. Might not have, nope, okay. Let's look at the column layout now. So it's telling me that I have something in here. So current month, GL entries, okay. So I know that I didn't attach a budget, so I will put that in there. And I'm going to take this off. I'm going to do last month minus, okay, oops. Let's do that. And let's come back and reprint this out. I have to put my budget filter in there because I did to the budget in 2014. Still nothing. See, this is the tricky part of setting up your column layouts. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to delete lines. And line number, do I have anything over here? No, it's not filtering. So okay, now let's go ahead and run it to see if anything comes up. And I'll take this out. And column layout is test. And let's preview that. I cannot get any information to pull in. Am I missing something here? Edit account schedule. I just want to take another peek. Total accounts. I want that account. Oh, that's because these are posting accounts, not totaling accounts. That would help. And this is the total account. So this is what's directly posting. They're not totaling. So if I go ahead, go here, one little thing can stop it. There we go. So the issue that I had was if I go back, I want to go back here and we'll talk through it. I, for some reason, put in totaling accounts, which again, a total account is one that has an end total or begin total. So I'm not sure why I put that in there. So the only one that I should have would be the end total of this one here as an end total, which is a total accounts. These are directly posting accounts, meaning these are not an end total or begin total, but they have the account type of posting. Okay, they don't have any total in the ending. So that's why that did not pull in. So if we go back to our column layouts, because I want to go back and add some stuff in there. Let's go and just add just a few lines. So I'm going to do 20 again, and let's do budget. And see if we can get some budget entries to come in, and we'll just keep adding and going through and printing and showing these and how different they are. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a budget filter, which is 2014, and I'm going to preview that. Nothing came in. I probably don't have a budget out there, but I'm going to look again. Let's do this, and I'm going to go back maybe 2013 and see if we can get a budget to pull through. Nope. I probably don't have, I mean, no offense, but typically we don't budget for cash. So I don't have a budget set out there for cash because you just never know what you're going to have. So that's why that's not coming in. So I'm not too worried about it. So let's go back to the column layout again. And let's try, let's go back out here. I'm going to take 20, I'm not going to do budget, I'm going to go last month, and I'm going to do GL entries, and the formula is going to be -1M. So in order to do that, though, I have to filter down by April. So let's see if we could do that. So if I do account schedule landscape, it's all based on the entries. Sorry, I'm thinking about the entries that I have in there. So I'm going to do 04, 01, 14, 2, 04, April. How many days are in April? I think there's 30 days in April. Yep. And I'm going to take out the budget, and then let's see if I can get any entries to come in. So last month, I don't have anything in March. So the current month, I can see that I have entries in there because I did the current month and it went down, but last month. So let's see if I can do, let's do last year. Let's see if we can get something to come in for last year. Okay, let's do last year. Okay, let's try that. Let's go ahead, and so I'm going to leave it at that month. Let's see if we can get it last year. Nope. So there's no information, but let's do this. Let's try something else. Let's do 010114 dot dot true. No, I don't want to do 14. 1 dot 12 31 11. Nope, I want to do 12s here. This isn't so hard when you have tons of information in there. So here we go. So I did January 1st, 2002 to December 31st, 2012, sorry. So here's the current month and here's the last year. So let's look at Bank 4 and see if that was the information from 2011. So it's the number of $539.13 for the Bank 4 account. So if I go to the General Ledger chart of accounts, Bank 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 is this payroll account, 539. Let's go ahead and look at that. And I can see that all of those entries are 2011. So all of that information would be the prior year. So I did, when I ran my column layout filter, I'm sorry, my date filter on my account schedule, let's go back here. You can see that I have 2012. So the last year, because my column layout said -1 year, it brought in that information from the prior year. So you can see if I had -1 month in there, it would have had, you have to base it off your date filter. So if I did last year, this is the current month. Where did you set up the header? I'm sorry, Barb, let me see that. Where did you set up the header? GITC test, cash overview. Okay, webinar trade. Yep, got it. So the GICT test is the company, if you can see at the top. I'm going to just put this down right here. So it's actually the company that I'm in. Okay. Now, good question. Cash overview is the description off of the account schedule that we set up right here. Okay. And then let's go back to our, I closed it, sorry. But then it says, if we go ahead, the webinar training, if I come here and go to column layouts, I'm just going to drill in here, back here again, and I drill in here. That is the description off of the column layout. So everything, it puts in the company name that you're printing it from, the account schedule description name that you put in there, and then the column layout description name that you put in there. So those names can be unique to whatever you're doing. So whatever description names you put in will pull inside of the report and lay it at the top so that you have an idea of what you're kind of what you're pulling the information from. So you can put balance sheet for location A, balance sheet for location B, so that you can give yourself just a little bit. As you can see, there's another column or row over here under the account schedules called analysis view name. Now this is, and we're not going to get into that right now. How do you set up a column for same period last year? Okay, give me just 1 second. Now you can go even further, and this is not going to be done in this session because this is about analysis views, but you can go even further and do analysis views and say every time that I pull up this account schedule, it'll always have department and project. Okay, so analysis views is just another way that you can not have to put your filters in and just view the information that you're putting in. Okay, so we have a question. How do you set up a column for same period last year? So if you want to do, that's exactly what we did before that I had set up. I just didn't have any information in there. So let's go to cash over. Oops. I didn't like that. Did I clicked on that twice? Okay. So I'm going to go in here and edit my account schedule. So if I want to do same period for the prior year, I'm going to do, so Oh, I want to be in the column layout. This would make more sense if I was in there. So inside your column layout, and if I could type today, there we go. So here I did compares to date for it. I did same period, the date filter that I had on there, but for prior year. So if I want to do current month and prior year, but I want only for that month, when I go ahead and print my account schedule, then I would only put in the date here of 1 month. So the -1 year is going to say that column is going to go back the year for just that month. So whatever date filter I put on this report when I'm running it will give me that specific period for that 1 month. So I'm trying to think here. Let me see if I go 0101 013111. So I'm doing January of 2011 to January 31st of 2011. So I want information from January. Oh no, I want to do 2012. Give me a second here. And then in that 1 month, or in that next column, it should only do the 2011. Yeah, I don't have any information. Let's see here. Let me go to the general ledger chart of accounts. Let's see what we have information in here for. I'm going to go ahead and look in here. Yeah, dude, I want you to pull up just the amount. So I can see I have July of 2011. Let me see if I have July of 2012. I don't. Okay. Okay. You can see we don't have tons of information. I'm trying to find one where I have, okay, I have July 2013, but I don't have July of 2012. So I'm going to do this. This is going to be a weird column layout, but I'm going to do it. Okay, so I can show you. Click here. So I'm going to do minus, I know you're going to think I'm weird, but 2 years. So you would only put 1 year in here, just so you know. So now I'm going to go and put, let's see here, my account schedule. I had July. Minus 2 years would be 13. I'm going to try this. Let's see if I can get the information to come in. Okay, so I have the current month of July 2013, and then I have so I went back 2 years and did that 1 month. So let's go take a peek at this bank 4. And we can see we have 555.66. So this 555.66 should be July of 2011 because I put in the dates, as you can see up here, 2013, and I did the minus 2 years. So I wanted to go back 2 years, which you would only go back 1. So if I go to the chart of accounts again, go to that bank 4, and I look, I have July of 2011. So it took out this June, and it put in these numbers here. So if I did actions, let's see if we can send to Excel. And you can't see it because it's on my other screen. So then if I take this out, and I want the amount, and auto sum, there's where the 5566 comes from, and you can see that I don't have anything prior to that. So it took that date that I put in, July 1st to July 31st, pulled everything in for 2013, which was nothing, and then went back 2 years. So if you put minus 1 year, that would be current period, which would be the current period that you put in. So you would put in today's date, which would be April 1st to April 30th, 2014. And then you put the next column, you put minus the 1 year, it would go back to April and show you just that information for April 1st, 2013 to April 30th, 2013. Okay, so you can do a lot with the column layouts. You know, the comparison dates and the comparison periods, you can use those. You could do, if you're doing it by quarter, you could do -1 quarter, which means it'll go back and show the previous quarters. Again, if you're going to do quarters, but you wanted the dates that you do, would do -1 year. So if you're doing March 1st to, or I'm sorry, January 1st to March 31st, and you want the prior year, you wouldn't do it by quarter, you would do -1 year to get that year. Okay? And if you want, I'm trying to think of other scenarios, but that's how they would work and so forth. Let's see here. Again, you know, you don't have to set up a column layout for each one, but you do have to have a column layout. The system does not allow you to run it without a column layout. If we went to print the reports, if I go here and try to print it without a column layout, and you'll see it will just, yep, you have to have a column layout in here. So it errors out on you. It needs something for you to tell it what to do. What basically analysis views is just another way that you can put another view on top of that. So you can say that I only wanted to show, you know, you could put filters on it specifically for GL accounts, date filter. I always say don't put a date filter in there, but you can put specific GL accounts and so forth. So no matter, the column layout should be then very specific, very, not specific, but very plain along with the account schedule. And I can say every time I run department project, I only want department in this project, and so forth. So you could put multiple filters on it. So if you have one report that you use 15 times to get out different information, instead of having to come in and click on, you know, it's this filter and this filter and this filter, you could choose your analysis view, just say analysis view department, analysis view project, analysis view blah, 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 and you would just get that information printed out for you. So that's kind of analysis views work. They're a little bit more in-depth and so forth. So that's one thing. And you can put a default analysis view on your account schedule as well. So that's one thing that's kind of nice. Let's see here. That is pretty much all that I have. Is there anything else? Okay. If there's no other questions, I thank you all. The webinar training should be up there on by Friday. Again, if you have any questions setting up an account schedule and you need some specific help, just let us know. And thank you all for attending, and have a good week.